Desert, home of the Arizona Diamondbacks at 50 wins and leading the National League West. Today, a chance to close the season's first half with a 4-game sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers here at Chase Field. And with their opening day starter, Ian Kennedy, on the mound. Diamondbacks baseball is brought to you by Sanderson Ford. Ian Kennedy started game 1 here this year. Today, he'll start game number 95. As we hit the All-Star break, the Diamondbacks 2.5 games out in front of the LA Dodgers and all by themselves atop the National League West at 50 and 44. Good afternoon from Chase Field and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. BB, a chance here to close out this first half with a 4-game sweep and make it a perfect 7 for 7 against Milwaukee this year.
Well, and you like to have that positive momentum going into the break. So when you come out of the break, your most recent memory was a good one. Thank goodness it didn't end after that Dodger series.
Well, they'll turn to Ian Kennedy. He was on the mound here day 1 and looked superb against the St. Louis Cardinals in the opener. That was arguably his best start this year. He's had some issues ever since.
Tough to find positives in those numbers, but the good news is he has to be better in the second half of the season. Recently, Ian has had some problem putting hitters away. Gets to a 2-strike count, just can't seem to get that last pitch.
Well, the Diamondbacks, as we've said, looking for win number 51, and they can close the first half with a 4-game sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers. First pitch on the way. You're watching the Arizona Diamondbacks here on Fox Sports Arizona. Back with more coming up. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is brought to you by Sanderson Ford. The Diamondbacks at 50 wins, 50 and 44. holding a 2.5 game lead on the Dodgers atop the National League West and trying to close this season's first half with a 4-game sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers. Right now we honor America. Here is the voice of Chase Field, Chuck Drago.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise and please remove your hats. Please direct your attention to the field as we honor the United States of America and pay tribute to our veterans, active duty, and retired men and women of our armed services. The Arizona Diamondbacks and the Milwaukee Brewers invite you to join in the singing of the Star Spangled Banner, performed by Kimberly Gunn.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red-glared, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
In a 3-game set at Miller Park back in April, Diamondbacks going for their first ever 4-game sweep at Chase Field here today against Milwaukee. And their first 4-game sweep at Chase Field since taking all 4 from the Giants here in 2008. This is Ron Renicke's starting lineup with some All-Stars near the top.
Yeah, a few guys missing from the lineup, getting an early start on the All-Star break. It'll be Aoki, Schaefer, and Segura at the top. Gomez, Francisco, Maldonado in the middle. No Jonathan Lucroy today. That's good news. Betancourt, Bianchi, and Peralta at the bottom of the order.
Ian Kennedy on the mound to face Norichika Aoki. Diamondbacks trying to close this first half with a 4-game sweep, and it's Kennedy making his 18th start this year. 3-5, a 5.31 ERA, And the command has been an issue. A walks per 9 innings rate that has jumped up from 2.4 last year to 3.4 this year. That's the highest it's been since Ian has been here in Arizona. And at the same time, the strikeouts per 9 rate has dropped this year. Aoki at 292, 4 home runs. Diamondbacks have done a good job keeping Aoki off the bases, hitless last night for the second game in a row. He is just 2 for 13 in this series, and he is one of the guys that sets the tone for this order, and they need him on base with so many key guys injured. Corey Hart, Ramos Ramirez, Ryan Braun all out for this series. Up the middle, Didi Gregorius spins and will not make a throw. Aoki good speed up the line, and he's aboard with an infield single. Pretty play by Didi, but also, Bob, a wise play, and not to throw that ball. Earlier in the season, we might have seen him try and throw that there.
Yeah, and really no reason to make a throw right there with Aoki's speed. He's going to leg that one out. That has been his approach throughout this entire series. Just put the ball in play on the ground up the middle of the field. Nice sliding stop by Didi, but wisely hangs on to that ball.
Leadoff man on for Milwaukee. Aoki, 10 stolen bases. He has been caught 10 times, so he's a 50-50 shot down there. Here's Logan Schaefer. Bunts it foul, trying to move Aoki along. Defensively, the Diamondbacks look like this. Their defensive lineup is brought to you by Safe Light Auto Glass.
Kubel in left, Eaton in center, Parra over in right field today. Martin Prado and Didi Gregorius on the left side of the infield. Aaron Hill and the All-Star Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Miguel Montero with a home run in the ball game last night behind the plate for right-hander Ian Kennedy.
0-1 to Logan Schaefer. Aoki aboard at first. Kennedy jumps out ahead, 0-2. Logan Schaefer singled and scored a run last night. He has started every game of this series now in left field. So far, he's 3 for 11. Aoki holding in first. Fastball up and away, 1-2.
Mentioned in the open, this is a situation that Ian has had some issues with, especially recently, getting to a 2-strike count, but then not being able to put hitters away. Weak contact or swings and misses or called third strikes. The league average in a 2-strike count is 175.
Up the middle, there's another base hit for the Brewers. First 2 have reached against Kennedy.
For Ian Kennedy in 2-strike counts, it's a 238 average, which is really high considering you've got the batter at your mercy. You can expand the strike zone, which he does right here. That's just a better piece of hitting by Logan Schaefer to flip that one into center field for a base hit.
Yeah, he doesn't really have, Bob, put away stuff. He's a bit more of a finesse guy, location command, and that's been an issue. You're right. When he gets to 2 strikes, if you're Ian Kennedy, what do you look to throw?
Well, I think you look to pitch to contact earlier in the count. If you don't have a strikeout pitch, at times that changeup has been a good strikeout pitch for him. But if you don't have something to put hitters away on the 2-strike count, then pitch to contact earlier in the sequence.
And that'll make you also more efficient and go deeper into games. Here's Gene Segura. He singled and scored a run last night. He is 4 for 12 in the series. And he is the National League's hits leader. He is 6th in the league overall at 320. And this is not a difficult lineup that he's facing today. I mean, Aoki, Segura, Gomez at the top have all done well, but we've mentioned all the guys that aren't in the lineup with injuries and elsewise. And Jonathan Lucroy, who's done most of the damage for Milwaukee in this series, is getting the day off today behind the plate. High chopper, that is a foul ball. Yeah, Ian has said before this season, and we've seen it a number of times with him this year, that when he's ahead in the count, he's not been able to put away anybody. In fact, he told us earlier this year there were times when he had 2 strikes on guys and didn't have that put away pitch, whether it was his fastball or changeup, especially in big situations. And he said it's frustrating when he needs to strike out somebody to have that put away pitch to go to, and it's just not there for him. Here's another 2-strike count. Let's see how this works out. Segura, base hit up the middle. Aoki will be waved in. Here's the throw from Adam Eaton. It's cut off by Goldie, and now Aoki holds up. Bases loaded, nobody out. 3 straight singles to open the ball game against Ian Kennedy. They were waving him in. Adam Eaton did a good job, Bob, of charging that one from center field.
Got to it quickly. We haven't really seen Adam Eaton showcase that arm. He had that elbow problem that put him on the DL. He was stopped in his rehab assignment to rest that elbow a little more. You see that change up belt high, middle of the plate. You just can't do that to a guy that hits the way Segura does. You can't do that to anybody, really.
You saw Ed Cedar there waving Aoki in, and then ran down the baseline, changed his mind, and put the brakes on as Adam came in from center field and made a good throw that was cut off by Goldie at the mound. So the Brewers, with 3 singles to open this one up, have the bases loaded and no outs for the All-Star Carlos Gomez. Aoki's at third, Schaefer's at second, Segura at first. First pitch swinging is fouled back. It's 0-1. Carlos Gomez walked and scored a run in last night's game. He has just 1 hit in the series. That was his solo home run Thursday night, his 14th of the year. He's at .295 for the season. Ian Kennedy in immediate trouble here. He has yet to record an out. Bases full. He's lucky he didn't hit him there. Keep in mind, no National League pitcher has hit more banners than Ian Kennedy this season. He's hit 10 guys. That's behind only Detroit's Doug Fister in the major leagues. Ian hit 14 banners last year to lead the league. He's already at 10 this year. That gets through. Aoki will score. They will wave Schaefer in from second. Here's the throw from Parra. It's up the line. Segura into third, and Gomez comes through with a 2-run single, and it's 2-0 Brewers. Another 2-strike count and another Milwaukee base hit.
4 batters, 4 base hits, all coming with 2 strikes. Nice piece of hitting by Gomez just to stay on that fastball away, drive it into right field. Maybe not a lot of household names, but one thing this Brewers team does have is pretty good athletes, guys that can run the bases. Schaefer scored easily from second base on that hard hit ball into right field.
Gomez's home run Thursday here was his only hit in his last 28 at bats. He was in a 1-for-28 slump before that 2-run single. Juan Francisco with Segura at third, and Gomez aboard at first.
That's a tough play for a first baseman when you're holding that runner on the bag and then you shuffle off to get into a defensive position as the pitch is being delivered, and then immediately have to change directions and dive back to where you just came from. Fortunately, that ball fouled down the first base line. Goldie had just come off the bag, shuffled into a defensive position, and then, as I said, fortunately a foul ball.
Have to watch Gomez at first. 21 stolen bases this year. He's been caught only 3 times. Top of this order will run. Aoki 10 steals, Segura 27, and Gomez 21. Francisco.
One thing Ian has done well throughout the first half of the season is slow down the opposing running game. Only 2 stolen base attempts throughout the first half of the season. 1 steal, 1 caught stealing.
And there's the first out recorded by Ian Kennedy after 4 singles.
On a curveball, we haven't seen much of that pitch going all the way back to spring training. Ian said he wanted to incorporate more of those spiked curves, but we just haven't seen much of it throughout the first half. But a good one there to get the swinging strike from Francisco.
He only throws it 10% of the time this year, and that was one of his big goals in spring training, to keep guys off his fastball and changeup, to mix in that curveball more frequently. And we haven't seen it a whole lot, as you mentioned. You're right. Martin Maldonado getting the start behind the plate today. Jonathan Lucroy getting the day off, and that's good news for Diamondback fans. They have not been able to handle Jonathan Lucroy in this series. 5 for 11 so far, Lucroy. 2 homers and 4 RBIs. He's already got 13 home runs this year. That's a new career high. And that's a little unusual, Bob. You've got a guy that is red hot here. You're trying to win a game and avoid a sweep. I know it's a day game after a night game, but you do have the All-Star break coming up.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Martin Maldonado has been matched up with Peralta on the mound quite a bit this season for the Brewers. They work very well together, and day game after a night game, and Lucroy's probably exhausted from running the bases in this series.
He's jogged around them twice. 0-1. Chop to third. Prado with a really nice play behind the bag. Segura scores. It's 3-0 Milwaukee. That's as good as a defensive play as any third baseman in this game can make right there.
A jump throw all in one motion. Caught the ball, made the exchange to the bare hand, jumped in the air, and threw all in one motion here. Plants that left foot. Fortunately, he's got the opposing catcher running down that first baseline, but you can't do it any better than that. What a play.
RBI and ground out for Martin Maldonado. Gomez up to second with 2 down. Here's Yuniesky Betancourt.
It's really not a high percentage play to attempt to steal third base with 2 outs in the inning. You're already in scoring position, but Gomez is 3 for 3 this year, stealing third base.
Yuniesky Betancourt 1 for 7 in a pair of starts in this series. He doubled in Friday's game. He's a .500 career hitter against Ian Kennedy. But he has been scuffling overall lately, stuck in a 5 for 42 right now. Kennedy trying to strand that runner at second. 4 straight singles by the Brewers to open the ball game. The first 3 have scored. That one is in and out of Miguel Montero's mitt, and Gomez gets a free 90 feet. And Bob, that's the second pass ball for Miggy in 2 games here.
He's showing all the signs of a guy that needs an all-star break. I mean, this is just a lack of focus. The ball clanks right off the webbing of the glove. Wasn't that far out of the strike zone. Just a little behind the rhythm of the game right now behind the plate.
Two and one to Betancourt. Popped him up third base side. Martin Prado. They strand Gomez at third, but 4 straight singles to open the ball game have given the Brewers a 3-0 lead. of their last 11, 10 of their last 14 here at home, leading the National League West by 2.5 games over the Dodgers. And Adam Eaton will lead it off for the D-backs here.
Followed by Gerardo Parra and the All-Star Paul Goldschmidt at the top of the order. Aaron Hill, Jason Kubel, Martin Prado in the middle. Miguel Montero, Didi Gregorius both homered in the game last night, as did Jason Kubel, and Ian Kennedy at the bottom of the order.
They will face 24-year-old right-hander Willie Peralta, 6-9, an ERA near 5 from the Dominican Republic. This kid at 245 pounds is a hard thrower. 2 fastballs, 4-seam and 2-seam, Bob, both average 95 miles an hour.
Yeah, throws a slider as his off-speed pitch. He has a changeup that he rarely uses. You can see by the strikeouts to walk, 62 to 43. He will occasionally lose that strike zone.
But he can hump it up there, and he's coming off a 3-hit shutout of the Reds in his last start. 4 walks and 6 strikeouts. He'll face Eaton, Parra, and Goldschmidt to open up the home half of the first, with the Diamondbacks down 3-0. Adam Eaton at 2 for 13 on the year so far. A couple of RBIs. He's been on base 3 times in this series. A walk, a single, and a triple. Right out of the gate here, 95 from Peralta. This was Adam Eaton on Thursday. A big hit in the ball game. Got the D-backs back in it against Ivani Gallardo.
Very well placed between 2 speedy outfielders in Schaefer and Gomez. Dropped it in there like he threw it. Had thoughts about trying to score on that ball, but got a late stop sign from Matt Williams at third base.
Well, Bob, how do you think about the Diamondback center field job now that Adam Eaton is back here as we head into the All-Star break, knowing that A.J. Pollock has done a terrific job for you, both defensively and offensively? How do you mix these two guys?
Well, that's Kirk Gibson's job. I mean, obviously, A.J. Pollock has done a bang-up job this season, not only playing center field, but plugged into that leadoff spot when he does start. And if you can play center field, you can play the corners. I mean, we've seen Adam Eaton slide over to left field when Pollock plays center field, and Gerardo Parra, of course, best right fielder in the National League. So that's a nice problem to have, trying to figure out playing time for good players.
Misses there with 96 is 3-2. I really like defensively that left to right we just showed you. When you can go Adam Eaton in left, A.J. Pollock in center, and Gerardo Parra in right. There's the command issue, and it bites Peralta right out of the gate here. Adam Eaton draws a leadoff walk. Defensively, Milwaukee looks like this. It's brought to you by Safelite Auto Glass. Couple of all-stars in there at short center field.
Yeah, Logan Schaefer will play left. Carlos Gomez in center. Noria Aoki in right field. Betancourt, Segura, Bianchi, and Francisco third to first across the infield. Martin Maldonado, we mentioned, he kind of has evolved into the personal catcher for Willie Peralta. Does a real nice job behind the plate. Occasionally struggles with that bat.
Gerardo Parra. Adam Eaton still looking for his first stolen base of this season. Parra fights it off. It's 0-1. On June 23rd, Gerardo Parra was hitting at .315 on the year. His average since then has dropped 30 points. He's at .285. And this is another question with the return of Adam Eaton. Where does Gerardo Parra fit into the lineup in terms of a spot? Done so well as the leadoff man this year. More questions to be figured out over the All-Star break. That one is lifted in the air high to left. Logan Schaefer near the line now. One away. And this is where he ranks among Major League Baseball outfielders. He's in the top 10 in assists, hits, leadoff home runs. He's done a tremendous job, and Gerardo Parra says if you play baseball hard, you'll stay happy in the game.
And he's happy.
Had a great time.
Yeah, we've talked about the Diamondbacks leadoff hitters, whether it be Parra or Pollock or recently Adam Eaton, and getting on that plate. Most runs from leadoff hitters in the National League. Only the Cardinals have scored more runs from that leadoff spot than the Diamondbacks this year.
Paul Goldschmidt. Hard to third. That gets through Bettencourt. Adam Eaton can fly. He'll head for third. And he'll stop there. Hard single for Goldie. That was a rocket down to third, and Yuniesky Bettencourt had no play.
Second base, number 2, Aaron Hill.
Well, the harder hit balls we've seen off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt recently, that ball's just past Bettencourt before he can react to it. This is a great play by Logan Schaefer in left field, however. The sliding stop comes up firing to second base to hold Paul Goldschmidt to a single, holds Adam Eaton at third, and the double play still in order here.
Diamondbacks with a chance to get right back in this game after the Brewers got 3 in the first against Ian Kennedy. 2 on, 1 away. Aaron Hill 0 for 11 in the series so far. Ron Kopa behind the plate today, says 0-1. Good crowd here, Chase. Good crowd all weekend as we close out the season's first half. Certainly not the midway point at game number 95. And the Diamondbacks here already with 50 wins. Hard to short Segura. They might roll this here. Bianchi, and they double up. Diamondbacks first and third, 1 out. They can't push a run across. They trail it 3-0 after 1.
After the second, Ian Kennedy gave up hits to the first 4 Brewer batters he faced. Nori Aoki, not a bad pitch, a changeup fading away, but it was up. That's actually a pretty good pitch to Logan Schaefer. He just punches it into center field, but then the next 2 changeups hanging up and out over the plate where they can be hit hard. And the Brewers, as I mentioned, jump out to that early 3-0 lead.
And Jeff Bianchi leads it off here in the second. Their second baseman, Bianchi, Peralta, Aoki, 8, 9, and 1 here in the Milwaukee second. Bianchi 1 for 4. Got the start at third base last night. He's in there at second for Ricky Weeks today. Right field, Parra has no play over there at the line, cuts it off. And the Brewers already with 5 base hits against Ian Kennedy.
Pitcher number 60, Willie Peralta.
That's another one, BB. I mean, that's right on a tee.
Yes, fortunately, it was to Jeff Bianchi and not Ryan Braun or Aramis Ramirez, or the score would be 4-0.
Here's the pitcher, Willie Peralta. Goldie charging in from first. That's a fair ball. And he'll throw over to Aaron Hill covering. Bianchi moves up 90 feet, one away.
Right fielder, Norichika Aoki.
Brings up the top of the order, Nori Aoki. Singleton scored in the first. Ian Kennedy coming off a loss in his last start. That was Tuesday night here against the Dodgers. 6 runs on 9 hits and 5 2/3. When he misses, that's a major league miss. Spins around like a top.
Spinorama.
Whee! 0-1. Come on. Center field. Adam Eaton. It drops in front. They will put the brakes on Bianchi at third. Once again, Adam Eaton does a good job of hustling to get that ball back at the infield. Ed Cedar once again was waving the runner in and then changed his mind. And so you've got Bianchi at third, Aoki at first with 1 out. 6 hits for Milwaukee through 1 2/3.
And you wonder how long Kirk Gibson can continue to watch this. This is a feeble offensive lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers, and they are just pounding the ball all over the ballpark against Ian Kennedy.
6 hits, all singles. Here's Logan Schaefer. Nice bunt up the first base line. Bianchi scores from third. And the Brewers take a 4-0 lead. Aoki to second, 2 down. It's a nice play to make sure they scratch that extra run across here.
Well, not only they push across another run on that bunt by Schaefer, but it moves Aoki into scoring position for their best hitter in the lineup, Gene Segura.
Segura singled and scored his first time.
I talked about Gomez stealing third, and once again, not a situation that screams out for a steal attempt at third, but Aoki is 3 out of 3 this year stealing third base.
Gene Segura 5 for 13 in the series. He's now hit safely in 9 of his last 11 games. He's ahead 2-0. Even Gene Segura admitted that he's surprised by his start this year. Never thought he'd start this good. But just checks in every day and does his work. Ricky Weeks has said that's something that he's noticed with Segura. Young kid who does a great job of working hard, which Weeks said young players have to do. And here he is at 23, leading the National League in hits. This time last year, he was a relatively unknown middle infielder in the Angels system, playing in the Futures game at All-Star Weekend in Kansas City. Was part of the Zach Greinke deal, and now he here's part of the future of the Brewers. In fact, they're playing the Futures game at All-Star Weekend today at Citi Field in New York. Archie Bradley pitched an inning in that game for the Diamondbacks, and Matt Davidson hit a home run.
D-backs well represented. Chris Owings will get in there at some point, and I'm sure he'll do something to make us proud.
Segura was in that game last year representing the Angels before his trade to Milwaukee. 3-2. This is today at Citi Field in New York. Archie Bradley. This is Team USA versus the World All-Stars. Archie Bradley worked 1 inning, worked a 1-2-3 inning. Kirk Gibson to the mound right now. And then this is Matt Davidson, the Diamondbacks' third base prospect. And that's a long home run in that ballpark.
Yes, it is.
So a good day for some D-backs future stars today at All-Star Weekend. Home Run Derby is tomorrow. All-Star Game is Tuesday on Fox. What do you think is happening here?
Now, this is not warm and fuzzy.
He looks angry.
Well, he should be angry. Ian Kennedy is supposed to be the ace of this pitching staff and just has not shown any kind of consistency with his stuff, with his competitiveness out there on the mound. I mean, for a guy that pitches inside as regularly as Ian Kennedy does, hitters take some very aggressive swings on pitches away.
Josh Colemanter warming up for the Diamondbacks. Gomez a 2-run single his first time. Hard to third. Prado has some issues and just does beat Aoki to the bag to get the force, and that ends the inning. Brewers strand 2, but they scratch across another run. They lead it 4-0. Tuesday, baseball's greatest stars gather for the biggest event of the summer. It's the Midsummer Classic, and it's back in New York City. Home field advantage in the World Series on the line. Live from New York, the Major League All-Star Game, only on Fox Tuesday. Diamondbacks well represented in the Futures Game and, of course, in the All-Star Game. Patrick Corbin and Paul Goldschmidt will be there representing the Diamondbacks. Archie Bradley, Matt Davidson, Chris Owens there today representing the Diamondbacks in the Futures Game. And who doesn't love Goldie?
National League pitchers.
America's first baseman. Good answer. Here's Jason Kubel to lead off the second for the Diamondbacks, down 4-0. Kubel, Prado, Montero 5, 6, and 7 against Willie Peralta. Jason Kubel, one of 3 lefties to homer for the Diamondbacks last night. Montero, Gregorius, and Kubel all solo shots. These were the Diamondbacks' first 3 base hits last night. All home runs, all against Kyle Loge.
Boy, this was a sight for sore eyes last night. The lefties flexing their muscles. Jason Kubel with a long home run almost into the RamTrucks.com pool.
That was Jason's first home run since June 11th, and that was the game with which we had the brawl at Dodger Stadium, so it had been a while. Jason, good career numbers against Milwaukee. He strikes out. First strikeout for Peralta, 1 away. A reminder, fans, every time a Diamondbacks player hits a home run this season, Fulton Homes donates $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. Martin Prado. You saw some tough love out there on the mound, BB.
Well, you try everything. I mean, and I'm sure Charlie Nagy and Kirk Gibson have tried to unlock the real Ian Kennedy throughout the first half of the season, and without much success. So you try everything.
Peralta jumps ahead here, 0-2.
Seen a couple of straight changeups in this inning at 86 from Peralta. That's a pitch I mentioned at the top of the show he rarely uses. If he's got that one going, it could be tough sledding today.
Throws that only 7% of the time. Prado fights that one off the other way. Aoki's in right, coming in, and it's in and out of the glove. But it stays right at his feet, and Prado has to stay at first. Might have got lucky had it rolled away from Aoki, and he may have turned an ankle or something there. Limping back to his position at right. Not lucky enough to have it roll away from Aoki, and Prado had to stay put.
Aoki plays so deep to begin with. Got a bad line on that ball. He was headed toward the foul line before he realized that ball was going to drop in front. Makes a diving effort at the last instant. Just able to get enough of that ball to keep it from rolling all the way to the warning track.
Prado aboard at first with one away. Here's Miguel Montero. Miggy on base 3 times last night. A homer, a single, and a walk. He scored twice. He's in at .223 and 7 home runs. Bounces away from Maldonado. Prado moves up to second. He spiked that one.
Wow, did he ever? Mentioned he loses the strike zone from time to time.
Now that's a wild pitch.
Wow.
That's a major league wild pitch. And the Brewers were told of an on Peralta about getting back on the mound when he gets in trouble in these types of situations. He tends to sort of circle the mound a little bit, wander around there trying to collect himself. And he's been told, get back on the mound and throw the ball. Don't linger. So we'll see how he does here with that. Here's the 2-0. This is inside there. It's 3-0. This was Miguel Montero last night.
Another sight for sore eyes. Oh, Miggy absolutely crushed that ball. And I thought it was very important that after the home run, his next at bat, he drew a base on balls, and his final at bat in the game, he had a single to the opposite field.
Now, why was that important?
Well, in the past, this first half of the season, when Miggy hits a home run, he usually tries to hit 10 of them. You know, he wants them to come in bunches, and he tries to force it rather than just take what the pitcher gives you.
He's ahead 3-0. Ball 4. Peralta will occasionally lose his command. And we saw the Diamondbacks get lucky with that last night. It helped them come back against Milwaukee. We've shown you Kubel, we've shown you Montero. And now here's Didi Gregorius, all 3 lefties last night homering. All off Kyle Lowe's.
The hits just keep coming. Didi's family in attendance at the ball game last night on their feet cheering, and why not? Didi really launched that one to right field.
Family is here again tonight. That one is lifted to center. Gomez on the run. He can go get him. Prado will tag and head to third. That was well hit, but to the deepest part of the ballpark.
Good tag in advance that time by Martin Prado. And it's significant because we've already seen Peralta throw a couple of pitches that hit about 6 feet out in front of home plate. If you've got a guy struggling with his command on the mound, that extra 90 feet moving from second to third becomes huge.
Ian Kennedy 5 for 31 on the year. He does have a pair of doubles. Just hoping to knock one back up the middle here.
That'd be nice. Find a hole.
'96. Remember last night the Brewers got their first run in the second inning on 3 consecutive singles by the bottom of their order. And it was Kyle Loge who had the RBI single that scored the game's first run. Prado at third, Montero at first, 2 down. It's away from Maldonado. Prado comes in, but lots of time to get the strikeout at first. Diamondbacks strand 2. We're through 2. They trail the Brewers here 4-0. Diamondbacks set for the third inning here, going for the 4-game sweep of the Brewers, but they trail 4-0. Milwaukee with 3 in the first and 1 in the second against Ian Kennedy. Hey fans, a reminder, Paul Goldschmidt bobblehead night is coming. Chase Field August 10th. Pick up a Goldie bobblehead. It's brought to you by Audi. And guarantee getting one for yourself, your very own. You purchase the Goldie bobblehead 4-pack. Log on to dbacks.com/4-pack or call 602-462-4600 for more information on how to get tickets and get yourself a Goldie bobblehead. A special 1,000 fans will get that limited gold edition, which we're proud to display up in our booth here. Along with, we got luchador masks up here, we got Goldie bobbleheads, we got a Eddie Munster autographed picture. The Rally Munster, it's been quite a haul up here lately. We do all right. Francisco Maldonado and Betancourt, 5, 6, and 7 here in the third. Juan Francisco struck out his first time up 0 for 1. Brewers started this one off with 4 straight singles against Ian Kennedy. The first 3 guys scored. They added 1 more in the second. They lead at 4-0.
Francisco just trying to punch one to the opposite field there. Say that facetiously. He tries to hit everything off the out-of-town scoreboard in right field.
He's been hitting pretty well lately. Last 21 games, 17 starts. He's hitting .359, including 5 home runs. That's a home run swing. He is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Perhaps a new approach, Bob.
Well, he will expand his own strike zone as he demonstrates quite ably right here. That pitch about shoulder high.
Martin Maldonado. RBI ground out his first time. Making his 25th start behind the plate this year. He's at 184 on the year. Tries to bunt for a base hit here. Kennedy, nice job to go get that one, and does a good job fielding his position there. And that's the second out. Quick to get on that one, then turned and made a strong, accurate throw.
A couple nice defensive plays with Maldonado at the plate. Martin Prado made that fine backhanded catch and jump throw to get him out in his first at bat. And Ian Kennedy bounces off the mound to field that bunt in plenty of time.
Yuniesky Betancourt. 1 for 8 in the series. Popped up his first time. Betancourt's offense has been in steady decline ever since he was in Seattle. He actually hit .289 in 06 and 07 as a full-time starter with the Mariners, but his average has dropped every season since 07, down to .228 last year, and now at .200 today. Shortstop Didi from the left field grass. The one-hop throw is right on the money. There's 1 D in defense. There are 2 in Didi. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Diamondbacks down 4-zip. Will do, sort of. Who is going to win the All-Star game? Hashtag FSAZ in front of either American or National. Tweet your vote to @Fox Sports Arizona. High above beautiful Citi Field in lovely Queens, New York. That is the start of the game Tuesday on Fox. Home Run Derby is tomorrow night on ESPN. And the big game Tuesday, Patrick Corbin will be there, as will Paul Goldschmidt.
Well, if you truly are a Diamondbacks fan, you got to vote National League. Home field advantage.
Diamondbacks will need that. Adam Eaton walked his first time. Literally looks at a strike. It's 0-1. Very measured look there. He did not go, says Chris Guccione at third. This would be the Diamondbacks' first ever 4-game sweep versus Milwaukee. Some work to do here to get that down 4-0. They would go to 7-0 this year against the Brewers after sweeping 3 at Miller Park back in April.
And a win is a win is a win. I don't care who's in the lineup, but Ryan Braun has yet to have an at-bat against the Diamondbacks this year. He was unavailable in the series early in April, back in Milwaukee with a bad neck, and away from the team here this 4-game series.
He's on the bereavement list. Ryan Braun. He reportedly would not answer questions during a meeting with MLB on June 29th about his possible connection to the Biogenesis Clinic. His name surfaced in documents linked to Biogenesis in Miami. He denied using performance-enhancing drugs. ESPN has reported the commissioner's office is expected to suspend Braun, Alex Rodriguez, and perhaps as many as 20 other players sometime after the All-Star game for their Biogenesis connections, possibly 100 game bans, although the commissioner's office has called the network's report premature. And Braun said this week the vast majority of what's been reported has been inaccurate, and while he'll respect the process, he is not talking about anything in the media. And that's where everything lies right now. But Ron Renicky and his team, Bob, have sort of had to carry that around with them all year long. Adam Eaton, the base hit up the middle. He's on board for the second time today. This is what he's supposed to do. Get him going at the top of the lineup. So far, walking a single.
Good grinding at bat. The 8th pitch results in that line drive right back over the mound into center field. Let's get it stirred up here a little bit.
Well, a lot of want at the top of this order with Eaton and Parra ahead of Goldie. Rado flied out his first time. They'll keep a close eye on Eaton. Gerardo Parra could perhaps, Bob, use the All-Star break here. Hitting 143 over his last 16 games, all starts, and only 2 extra base hits in that span.
Well, because of the way he plays the game, he's a little more dinged up than most guys at this time of year. I think I said it earlier.
Oh, they got Adam Eaton dead to rights down there, and he's picked off. Martin Maldonado noticed Eaton wandering too far off the bag at first.
Well, Eaton reacts to what he sees at the plate. Parra trying to bunt that ball past the pitcher's mound to the right side of the infield. When he bunts through it, Eaton is just exposed out there. Tried to get that extra step on his secondary lead and thrown out by a wide margin at first.
That one is lifted in the air to left. Logan Schaefer coming in. 2 down.
Yeah, selfishly, I think most managers would prefer that none of their players go to the All-Star game.
Oh, sure.
Take the 3 days off, rest up some of those minor injuries, or in some cases major injuries you've been dealing with throughout the first half of the season. But certainly you don't want to rob any of your players of the opportunity to represent their organization in something as prestigious as an All-Star game. So you're happy for the guys, but man, you wish they could have a couple days off.
Patrick Corbin there, Paul Goldschmidt here. And Goldie certainly deserving of an All-Star nod, leading the National League with 77 RBIs. His 21 home runs already a career high. Goldie's 6th in the National League in runs scored, 4th in walks, 5th in on-base percentage, 3rd in slugging and OPS. That one is bounced to Segura at short. We are through 3 at Chase Field. The Diamondbacks trail the Brewers 4-0. in part by Ram Trucks, proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And by Gila River, another proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Chase Field on a Sunday afternoon. Diamondbacks trail the Brewers 4-0. Milwaukee 3 in the first, 1 in the second against Ian Kennedy. And he's out there to start the fourth. Jeff Bianchi, Willie Peralta, and Norichika Aoki. 8-9-1 here for the Brewers. They have out-hit the Diamondbacks 6-3. First 4 Brewer batters in the ballgame singled against Ian Kennedy. 3 of them scored. Brewers tacked on 1 more in the second. Lifted in the air to center field. Adam Eaton. We talked about the Futures game in New York earlier today. With more on that, here's Jody.
Yeah, no question about it. Diamondbacks represented well with pitcher Archie Bradley, infielder Chris Owings, and Matt Davidson. How about it? He was named the MVP of the Futures game. He helped USA beat Team World 4-2 with a 2-run home run. And what a season it's been for the 22-year-old, really making noise in Reno and showing off that power. And he's excited. He'll also play in the AAA All-Star game hosted by Reno on Wednesday, guys.
That's a great day for the Diamondbacks organization. Chris Owings has been among the league leaders in hitting at Reno. You've got Archie Bradley, who's looked great. He pitched an inning today. And Matt Davidson, how about that? Futures game MVP. Rolled to third. Prado has to hurry. They get Peralta. This is Matt Davidson earlier today at the Futures game at All-Star Weekend at Citi Field. And that's a long home run in that ballpark.
Yeah, we saw Citi Field on that last road trip. Ball just didn't carry in that particular area of the field, but Matt Davidson got it off the facing of the old fence out there.
Norichika Aoki 2 for 2, a pair of singles. He scored a run. There's Prado at third. Matt Davidson, a third base prospect. The issue with Matt seems to be more his defense and footwork than the bat. The bat has been coming along nicely for a while now. It raises some more interesting questions, Bob, about what the Diamondbacks may do at the deadline. You don't want to trade any of these young guys, but it's interesting to see how Matt Davidson might fit in here with Martin Prado under contract long term. Chris Owings at shortstop. They're all in on Didi apparently at shortstop. So a lot of options here for the Diamondbacks. I had the privilege of doing that game last year, the Futures game. It was in Kansas City, and it's amazing how quickly so many of the players in that game impact the major league level in the second half. Many of them, like Gene Segura, for instance, are up and playing, or they're parts of big trades at the deadline. Here is Didi at short. And Ian Kennedy has now set down 7 in a row. Home half of the fourth on the way. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Aaron Hill will lead it off for the Diamondbacks, down 4-zip. Express, brought to you by Cox Communications and Fry's Food Stores, is headed to a D-backs game August 11th and September 1st, and you can get on board Stop by this month's participating Fry store in Globe or Cox Retail Store in Tucson, and you can enter to win 2 seats on the Fan Express bus. And BB, the group from Surprise is here today.
Right.
They were on board the Sedona Red machine there, Fox Sports Arizona Fan Express, and they're all here from Surprise wearing their Sedona Red. Back in the D-backs. So get more information on how you can get on board at foxsportsarizona.com.
Yeah, get your friends and family. Make it a road trip.
Aaron Hill, Jason Kubel, Martin Prado here against Willie Peralta. Aaron grounded into a double play his first time up to win the first. Aaron hitting .229 on the homestand, but he's had 4 doubles, 6 RBIs, and 7 runs scored in the 9 games so far. That one is well hit into left for a base hit. That's Aaron's first knock of the series, 4th hit for the Diamondbacks.
Left fielder, Jason Kubel.
Stayed on that changeup low and away. Got enough of it to line it over the head of Segura into left field.
Jason Kubel struck out his first time, coming off the big home run last night. .96, he gets ahead 0-1. Kubel 123 points better against righties than lefties. So this is a good matchup for him. Diamondbacks able to take advantage last night against the right-hander Loge. 3 home runs, all by left-hand hitters.
A little bit of different style today, even though Loge and Peralta both right-handed pitchers.
Oh yeah, Loge is about 90.
Yeah, Peralta's changeup is probably about the same speed as Loge's fastball.
Peralta, a 2-seam and a 4-seam, both average 95 miles an hour, and a hard slider at 86. There is that changeup, 84 miles an hour. He jumps ahead 1-2. Some of us are looking forward to the All-Star break, but BB, you've done some fine work for yourself. You will have, I'm told, an extended break.
Got a few extra off days and took a look at the schedule, saw that 3-game trip to San Francisco, and then the Diamondbacks coming right back home. So a little bit of an extended break this year.
Kubel strikes out for the 2nd time. So Gonzo, who's been working next door to us in the radio booth here all week, will continue his usual nose to the grindstone approach. And he will join us. Yeah, there it is. You can see diligently working in front of Leo Gilmartin in the radio booth. Gonzo will fill in for BB during the 3-game trip in San Francisco. Look at these, locked in. Working the game today with Jeff Munn. Leo overseeing everything. Martin Prado, single his first time up. Martin Prado, .318 over his last 17 games, 16 of those starts. He's got it up to .255.
With Prado at the plate, of course, a lot of hoopla about the big Justin Upton Martin Prado trade. How about this Braves outfield last night? Jose Costanza, Reed Johnson, and Joey Turtislavich. No Hayward, neither Upton brother.
They shut both Uptons down until the All-Star break.
And the three guys I mentioned went 7 for 11.
Up the middle, Segura. Oh, he can play shortstop. Terrific range. Takes a base hit away from Martin Prado. That was a high hopper up the middle, and Segura turns 2. We're through 4. It's 4-0 Milwaukee.
You know, just like brawls on the field, people always say, will that fire up a team? Will that get them going? Well, if that's all it took, everybody would be fighting all the time. And I think the same thing goes for a manager going to the mound talking to a pitcher instead of the pitching coach. Now, Kirk Gibson had some things on his mind that he wanted to express to Ian Kennedy. And ever since that point in the ball game, Ian Kennedy's retired 7 straight Brewer hitters. We don't know what was said. We have an idea what was said, but it worked this time. If it worked all the time, managers would be out there yelling at pitchers constantly.
You saw the look in Ian's eye. He was getting a good scolding there, and we chose to show you that from behind Kirk Gibson so you couldn't read his lips. We did that purposely because Ian was given a good talking to right there, and looked like 1 or 2 4-letter words were uttered his way.
Yeah, and that was not a conversation. Because Ian wasn't saying anything, just nodding his head and listening.
Logan Schaefer. Well, sometimes, I mean, that's probably the best thing you can do in that situation. It's kind of a reality check. Hey, you're our opening day guy here. It sure has worked. He's retired 7 straight. He's ahead 0-2 on Schaefer. Do you ever do that? Just go out and yell at a guy?
I don't recall ever going out and yelling at a guy. I went out to the mound and I was upset many times, but it wasn't always with my own guy. Usually it was waiting for the umpire to come out from behind home plate.
See, if we had robots, you couldn't have that friendly, warm exchange.
You wouldn't have to. That's the point.
We'd lose so much, though.
Oh, please. We'd lose the worst parts of this game.
The human element.
Oh,
well, Bobby was ahead 0-2, and now it's 3-2. Logan Schaefer's hit safely in 9 of his last 12. He's got a double, a triple, and a home run over that span. And he crushes that one deep to right. And it's out of here. Ian Kennedy was ahead 0-2 in the count. It turns into Schaefer's second home run of the year and a 5-0 Brewers lead. The lack of a put-away pitch.
Hey, you have a guy in an 0-2 hole. You've got 4 pitches to do something to get him out. Runs it to a 3-2 count and got a fastball he could handle, and Schaefer hit it out of here.
7th hit for Milwaukee. Here's Gene Segura. He's been on base twice. He has singled, walked, and scored a run. Second of the year for Logan Schaefer. I think on your second you wouldn't get the silent treatment. Kind of been through that already, haven't we?
Yeah.
Segura rolls one through. That's a base hit. He's on base for the 3rd time. This is Schaefer's reception here in the dugout. Oh, he just sort of waved him off. That's too. Enough with you guys. I give him credit. They held out for a long time. Brewers are now out-hit the Diamondbacks 8-4. And that is a big part of Carlos Gomez's game historically. Wild, erratic swings. Josh Coleminter back up and throwing. Gomez starting to fall back to earth a little bit. He had a 4-for-4 day against Texas on May the 8th. He crushes that one down the left field line and foul. Off the facade there, second deck. May 8th, 4-for-4. And at that point, Gomez was hitting .386 for the year. But since May 8th, he's hit .248. So his batting average for the season has dropped more than 90 points. But still an outstanding first half. He's headed to the All-Star game. Chases that one and strikes out. Segura heads up play into second. And he's in there. The ball was right at Miguel Montero's feet. But Segura with great quickness out there, able to take advantage.
We talk about it all the time. If you anticipate that ball in the dirt and have some momentum moving toward the next base, that's a tough thing for a catcher to do. Block a pitch in the dirt, recover, get to the ball, make an accurate throw, and for an alert base runner, it's a pretty easy 90-foot advance.
That's a strikeout and a stolen base. Segura to second, one away. Here's Juan Francisco. Francisco has twice struck out. He's 0 for 2. No Hart, no Ramirez, no Braun, no Lucroy. It's 5-0 Brewers.
MLB.com at Bat is the #1 source of live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers D-backs baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit dbacks.com for details.
1-1. Center field, Adam Eaton broke in, now steps back, and he's there for the second out. Segura stays put at second base, 2 down. Martin Maldonado now. Ian Kennedy at 70 pitches, 49 for strikes. Maldonado RBI ground out in the first. He's 0 for 2. Broken bat. Didi has to hurry. Strand, Segura on the bases, but the Brewers add one more on the Schaefer home run. They lead it 5-0. Anderson Ford. A Sunday at the ballpark. Diamondbacks closing out the first half of the season, looking for win number 51 on the year, but they trail the Brewers here 5-0. Good crowd here as always at Chase Field as we close out the first half, leading the National League West, but they have yet to saw Willie Peralta. He's given up 4 hits, all singles, and has a 5-0 lead. He'll face Miguel Montero, Didi Gregorius, and the pitcher spot here in the home half of the 5th. Ian Kennedy down 5-0. Ready to take his at bat, apparently. Miguel Montero drives that one high and deep to right, and that ball is out of here. Miguel Montero, his second home run in as many days. That's his 8th of the season, and the Diamondbacks are on the board. There's a Fulton home run, and another $150 goes to Central Arizona Mountain Rescue.
Hopefully that'll jumpstart the Diamondbacks offense against Willie Peralta. His home run last night came on a changeup. This one's on a changeup as well. I take that as a good sign. He's not jumping out there expecting fastball on every pitch. Kept his hands back, and another drive to right field by a left-handed bat.
That has been a recurring theme the last 2 days. Here's another one, Didi Gregorius. And Bob, that looked very much like the swing Miggy put on his home run last night. We've always heard, and you've always said, that lefties are good low ball hitters. Just puts a nice swing on that one.
Change up, caught it out in front of home plate, guaranteeing he was going to pull it to right field, and got it right off the sweet spot of the bat.
Didi 2 for 3 last night. He had a home run. Also had the RBI single that tied the game against John Axford. So Didi had a big night. All his family is here from Curacao. Here they all are. His grandfather, his father, his uncles, his brother, all baseball players. That one is shot right down to first base at Francisco. Takes a base hit away. Jody Jackson was down there last night talking to Didi's brother Johnny, who played pro ball in the Netherlands and Curacao and in Italy. Ian Kennedy. Ian struck out his first time up. .95. He's been consistently 95, 96 with that fastball, Willie Peralta. He is a big dude. 6'1", 245, 24 years old. Looks a lot physically like kind of a right-handed CC Sabathia.
Yeah, very thick lower body.
Yeah. '97, he strikes out Kennedy for the second time. And that's now 4 strikeouts for Willie Peralta. Here's Adam Eaton. Adam has been on base twice, walked in the first and singled in the third.
We said that Montero's home run last night and his home run today very similar, both coming on change-ups down. Caught him out in front of home plate. Good extension at the point of contact and a very similar home run trot.
Well, what a difference it would make if you could get Miggy's bat going. Like we talked about last night, Jason Kubel, some of the left-hand hitters. And take the pressure off this bullpen, which every time it goes out there is pitching with a 1-run lead and no safety net so often. Diamondbacks won the first game of this series on 5 hits. They won the second game on 4 hits. 6 hits last night to win the game. So it's been very much so a pitching and defense. Miguel Montero, Jason Kubel, Didi Gregorius, all 3 left-handers to homer last night. 1-2. So Adam Eaton has been on base 5 times in this series. 2 walks, 2 singles, and a triple. He's got 2 RBIs. He's a little dude, but he takes a big swing.
He gets a lot of bat speed when that bat gets into the hitting zone. He generates as much bat speed as just about anybody shy of Paul Goldschmidt.
Peralta gets the called 3rd strike there, and that ends the inning. That's his 5th strikeout, and we are through 5. But the Diamondbacks are on the board. Miguel Montero, a solo shot to lead off the inning, his 8th of the year, and it's a 5-1 ball game through 5. by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Back at Chase Field, Yuniesky Betancourt leads off the sixth by lancing that one to center field, and that's the first out in the inning against Ian Kennedy. Diamondbacks now on the board. They trailed at 5-0. Miguel Montero was 8th of the year. Has made it a 5-1 ball game. And here's Jeff Bianchi, the second baseman. Bianchi singled and scored in the second, flied out in the fourth, 1 for 2. Bianchi spent 7 years in the Royals minor league system. He was a second-round pick in the 05 draft. Hit .315 in AA a few years ago. Chops that one to third. That's a foul ball. That was 2009. He had .315 in AA, but then missed all of 2010. He needed Tommy John surgery on his right elbow. Got released, picked up by the Cubs. They waived him, and now he's with Milwaukee. And he's in there today for Ricky Weeks, who is slumping. Weeks at .227 on the year. Only Darwin Barney and Dan Uggla are hitting for a lower average among everyday National League second basemen. Prado at third. Leaps and makes the throw in time. That was interesting. The stop and then the leap. Usually it's the other way around. Little Superman routine at third by Martin Prado. Let's make that our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game.
Yeah, sometimes that ball will take a funny hop at the very end. He started to come in and then had to go straight to his left with that Superman dive. That's the first time we've really seen Martin Prado air out a throw across the diamond. Normally he gets it over there just in time to get a runner, but he knew he had to put something on that one. Nice play.
2 down. Here's the pitcher, Willie Peralta. Aaron Hill. And a nice inning for Ian Kennedy. A quick 1-2-3-6. We'll head to the home half of the sixth here. Diamondbacks trail at 5-1. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. It's Gerardo Parra, Paul Goldschmidt, and Aaron Hill down 5-1. We're offering you a chance to catch a game from the RamTruck.com pool. Just look for specially marked packages of Pepsi 12-ounce cans for your chance to find the limited edition D-backs can. Pepsi, live for now. And come join us by the pool here at Chase Field. Cool off in air-conditioned comfort. Of course, you got to have your beach body if you're down by the pool. The luchador clearly on your workout program. Done wonders for both of
you. He's been a little more conscientious than I have.
Maybe an extra curl here and there. That's about it. I noticed the luchador's not in the pool. I got to say, he's kind of wimping out. As someone who had to go in there earlier this year, I took my Wade Miley garden gnome in there. And there is Dennis Lamb once again doing a wonderful job modeling our luchador mask. Very intimidating look for Dennis. Stop doing that Gene Simmons thing. Luchador mask is coming up. When is the luchador mask? Oh, July 27th. D-backs and Padres. That's the D-backs luchador mask giveaway. July 27th, Diamondbacks and Padres. 20,000 fans get the luchador mask. That's courtesy of Circle K and Univision Arizona. So you too can look like Dennis Lamb. All you got to do is call 602-462-4600 or log on to dbacks.com/lucha, and you can also look like that. Although we have noticed that Greg Schulte and the luchador are never in the you never see him in the same place. It's kind of a Bruce Wayne thing. Secret identity, all that. And I think it's fairly convenient that Luchador is here wandering around the ballpark, yet the Governor is mysteriously absent. Coincidence?
I think not.
I think not.
For a long time we thought it was Gonzo, but we clearly have Gonzo in the booth next to us.
Yeah, so we've solved that mystery.
Yeah.
Perhaps the Gub will send us a tweet.
I'd be shocked if he doesn't.
2-2 to Gerardo Parra. Although if you are maintaining a secret identity, Twitter would seem somewhat counterproductive. Putting on my secret costume. Hashtag superhero.
Here I come to save the day.
There he is. Some of the youngsters fascinated by the luchador. Look at the looks on their faces.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe we were going to have the luchador sink or swim.
Well, we should be doing that. Look at that. Jeff Bianchi. Gerardo Parra beats it up the line. And Parra's aboard. He's 1 for 3. So the leadoff man on for the Diamondbacks here in the 6th.
Fifth time in 6 innings the Diamondbacks have had the leadoff man reach base. The only run, however, was Miguel Montero's leadoff home run in that 5th inning.
Well, this is the inning to get something going. Parra aboard. Here comes Goldie and Aaron Hill. Nice play by Bianchi, but not enough time to get the hustling Gerardo Parra. Here's Goldie, singled and grounded out, 1 for 2. Mentioned Willie Peralta coming off a 3-hit shutout of the Reds in his last start. That was Tuesday at Miller Park. He walked 4 and struck out 6. 113 pitches. And he's looked good so far here today. Only one hit that wasn't a single. That was the Montero homer to lead off the 5th. Two 2-0. One earned on 6 hits in 5, 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. 72 pitches for Peralta, 47 for strikes. He's behind 2-0 to the National League's RBI leader. .95, 2-1. He is consistent with that velocity. He will occasionally lose his command from time to time. He's walked 4 or more in a start 4 times this year.
Other National League action today. The Rockies over the Dodgers 3-0 in the bottom half of the 5th inning. That's Jhoulys Chacin against Ricky Nolasco. And the Giants, after a Tim Lincecum no-hitter last night, are getting whooped by the Padres 7-1 in the bottom of the fourth.
All right, those will work. All right, law plus beer, hashtag 44, gold.
Oh, Schmidt's beer. I get it. Goldschmidt.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
I got a headache now. 2-2. Take George Goebel to block. 2-2. Look out.
I was just looking at that this morning. As good as he's been offensively all year for the Diamondbacks, and at times the only offense for the Diamondbacks, he's only been hit by pitch one time this season.
That's because no one wants to pitch inside, right?
Yeah, nobody wants him to come out to the mound.
Goldie does not get rattled. 3-2. Parra holds it first. Fouled away. We'll do it again. Goldschmidt says he is not a guess hitter. He takes a see ball, hit ball approach. Likes to keep it simple up there. Doesn't like to guess or try and outthink the opposing pitcher, even after looking at video.
I think a changeup on the way right here.
Rolls it into left. That's a base hit. Parra stops at second. First two aboard for the D-backs here in the sixth. Goldie 2 for 3.
Throws in the upper 90s with a snapdragon slider, and he's been giving up hits on changeups in this game. The home run to Miguel Montero was on a changeup. The Paul Goldschmidt base hit through the left side was on a changeup. The Aaron Hill base hit to lead off the fourth came on a changeup. I'm sensing a pattern.
Here's Aaron Hill. He is grounded into a double play and single. Ronald Parra at second, Paul Goldschmidt at first. 8 hits for Milwaukee, 7 for Arizona. And the D-backs a chance here to get right back in this thing. Lifted in the air to right. Aoki coming in near the line. Hard charge, and he can't quite get there. Aaron Hill found the right spot, no man's land. Most guys, it seems like, BB, get to that ball.
Well, most guys don't play with their heels on the warning track in right field.
He is back there, as you've noted.
Hey, he just feels much more comfortable coming in on the ball than going back on the ball. We're told he's a little fearful of the barriers, whether it be a chain link fence like here at Chase Field or some of the walls around the National League. He just doesn't like to get too close to that wall.
Play on at second, and Parra is just back in time. He did not go, says Tom Helling, the crew chief at first. 1-1. Brewers bullpen is busy. Parra at second, Goldschmidt at first. Kinsler, we saw him earlier in this series. Kind of getting a running start off that mound.
It is funny though how like
Ramtrucks.com pool area, everyone on the front row there. 1-2. Gets Aaron Hill to chase. It gets by Maldonado. And everyone moves up 90 feet. First out of the inning.
It's that hard slider in the dirt. He throws it so hard. He disguises the rotation on that pitch extremely well. A good hitter like Aaron Hill to chase that pitch in the dirt, you know it has some movement, late movement.
Jason Kubel. He is 0 for 2. He has twice struck out. 2 for his last 22. Good RBI chance here. Second and third, one out.
Really great RBI chance here. Ground ball anywhere but back to the pitcher's mound. The fly ball to medium depth outfield. You're going to get Parra home from third base in this situation.
Nice play. Parra doing a tap dance up the third baseline. Kubel swings through it. It's 0-2. Some confusion about the signs.
He looked annoyed.
He did. I don't throw that pitch. Great walk-up crowd here today, BB. A lot of fans want to get on board and watch the Diamondbacks try and close out the first half of the season. Better than 25,000 here. Big walk-up crowd today. So thanks to all the Diamondback fans who showed up to join us here at Chase Field. Watch your first place Diamondbacks.
In the air conditioning.
In the pool. Can't beat it. Yes, he went. Ron Copa rings up Kubel. That's the third time today Kubel has struck out. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Peralta. He's now got 7 in the afternoon. That was not a swing. Unless he ruled it was a strike on location, but it could have been that, right?
The ball bounced in there, yeah.
Wow, all right. So it's up to Martin Prado now. 7 strikeouts, a career high. Prado has singled and hit into a double play. Two runs sitting on second and third here. Down 5-1.
A big base hit here would do a lot to change the complexion of this ball game, playing against a team that has become very accustomed to losing, especially without some of their superstar players in the lineup. Put a couple of runs on the board right here, pull within 2. You'd start seeing the Brewers grip a little bit.
Well, Martin Prado 3 for 12 in the series so far. He was 0 for 3 with a walk last night. And he has carried with him a different offensive presence as of late, certainly on this homestand. Parra at third, Goldie at second. They both singled. There's a strike, 2-1. Go back to Thursday's series opener here. Martin Prado had the big hit, a 2-run single in the 8th. That broke up a 3-3 tie. Diamondbacks went on for the 5-3 win. Another big spot right here, ahead 2-1. Montero on deck. He homered his last time up. 3-1 to Martin Prado. 2 on and 2 out. Roll to second. Bianchi. A pair of leadoff singles for the Diamondbacks. Both runners are stranded. We're through 6. It's a 5-1 Brewers lead. Powered by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Grand Canyon. Diamondbacks trailing the Brewers 5-1, set for the 7th inning here at Chase Field. Ian Kennedy has retired the last 6 he faced. But the Brewers have out hit the Diamondbacks 8-7. They lead at 5-1. And it's the top of the order. Norichika Aoki, Logan Schaefer, and Gene Segura 1, 2, and 3 in the Milwaukee 7th. Aoki so far 2 for 3, a pair of singles. He scored a run. Aoki played 7 full seasons with the Swallows in Japan's Central League, and he was a career 329 hitter. He won 3 league batting titles and 6 Gold Gloves as a center fielder. He's played right for the Brewers. He's in the 2nd season of a 2-year, $2.5 million contract, and there have been reports that the Rangers have checked in with Milwaukee about Norichika Aoki. And Brewers figure to be big sellers at the trade deadline. Texas could be in need of some outfield help, and Aoki is a guy who can play center and give them some insurance if they lose Nelson Cruz to suspension. And that possibility has been reported this week as well. Brewers won the negotiating rights to Aoki with a $2.5 million bid on his posting fee from the Swallows in the Central League. He's the 6th Japanese-born player to play for the Brewers, but the first position player. All the previous Japan-born players have been pitchers for Milwaukee. And he had quite a year last year as a rookie, if you want to call him that. 30 steals, 150 hits. He's 31 years old.
Probably looking to bang one back up the middle of the field here. Oh, takes a called third.
Ring him up, sit him down. That's 4 strikeouts for Ian Kennedy. He's retired 7 straight. One away here in the 7th.
Left fielder, Logan Schaefer.
I think Aoki has only hit 2 balls to the corners of the field in this entire series. He flied out to left field in the 9th inning in the Patrick Corbin start. And I think there was 1 ground ball right to Goldie at first base. Everything else has been up the middle of the field.
Logan Schaefer's had a nice series. He singled and scored in the 1st. Hit his 2nd home run of the season in the 5th. He's 2 for 3. Pardon me, 2 for 2. He also had a sacrifice RBI. So very productive day here. Playing a lot lately with Ryan Braun on the bereavement list. He has started every game in this series in left field for Braun. And he's been a good bat off the bench for Ron Renneke when Braun is in there. Schaefer this year 7 for 29 as a pinch hitter. 3rd round pick by the Brewers in 08 from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Kennedy behind 3-1. Well, Bob, Ian Kennedy's been an up and down outing. He's had stretches where he's been very effective. He has, in fact, twice today retired 7 straight at different points of the ball game. But had that very rocky first when the first 4 Brewers batters reached on singles. He's given up the home run to Schaefer his last time up. Very hit and miss start.
Very hit and miss first half. Yeah, he's had some outings where you think, well, he's turned the corner. He's figured it out. Stuff is much better. Command is much better. And then he'll regress in his next start, and you wonder where it went. Then he'll come back the following start and be real good again.
90 pitches now, 62 for strikes. And there's the 1-out walk. Ram Truck's tools of the trade, Bob, is the defense that's been behind Ian Kennedy today.
Not only today, but all season long, this defense has bailed the pitching staff out of some terrible jams. Martin Prado with an outstanding play at third base. Didi Gregorius with a gem of his own going out into shallow left field. And then Prado with a dive to his left. You almost take it for granted how good that defense has been all season long. They've had a few hiccups here or there, but for the most part, that defense has been off the charts good all season.
It has been the one constant this year. A nice bunt by Segura. Prado, the barehanded play! And he can't get Segura with good speed. They have Schaefer hung up, but he gets back to second base safely. Prado had to charge in, made a tremendous barehand play. But Segura with great speed gets up the line, and he's on base for the 4th time this afternoon. That's a bunt single.
Nice play, just too much speed. You can see Schaefer in the back of your picture there, turning the corner at second base. He took a couple of big steps around the bag at second. Goldie fired over there to Didi, covering the bag at third just to hold him and keep him from advancing to third base.
So Schaefer at second, Segura at first, 1 out, and Carlos Gomez will step up. Yeah, the defense has certainly been the one constant this year. The pitching has come and gone, the hitting has come and gone, but throughout this year, the defense has been spectacular.
How about this in the National League? Gene Segura is #1 with 31 infield hits. Nori Aoki second with 25 infield hits.
He gets a tremendous amount of base hits with his legs, and Kirk Gibson has seen enough after 92 pitches. And Ian Kennedy leaves with 1 out in the 7th. He's responsible for 2 base runners. Josh Colemanter comes on. We'll take a break here at Chase Field. One out in the 7th. He's given up 5 runs on 9 hits. He's responsible for 2 base runouts. There's the pitching line so far. 5 earned on 9 hits and 6 in the 3rd. 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. Josh Colmenter comes on. Schaefer at second, Segura at first. This is Josh Colmenter's 26th appearance this year, and he has thrown a tremendous amount of innings. In fact, among National League relievers, he is tied for first in innings pitched with 52 and a third.
Figures to only throw 2/3 of an inning in this outing today, since the pitcher spot for the Diamondbacks is due up 3rd in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Colmenter just coming in here to try to get out of this jam.
Carlos Gomez, 2-run single in the 1st. 1 pitch, popped him up. Shallow center, Adam Eaton coming in. Aaron Hill going out. And Aaron Hill has it in shallow right center. That's the 2nd out. 1 pitch, 1 out for Colmenter. 2 down now. Juan Francisco. Some of these young guys, Bob, sorry, I was going to say some of the young guys like Delgado and Skaggs and certainly Corbin have been more consistent lately than some of the veterans in this rotation.
No question about that. And that shot of Randall Delgado and obviously Patrick Corbin, probably the only 2 pitchers unavailable in the ball game today. The last game before the All-Star break, everybody's going to get some time off. Even the starting pitchers are available today.
Wade Miley's been much improved in the last month or so. 5-6 starts. Wade has shown steady improvement, really since that start May 31st at Wrigley Field. Francisco 0 for 3 has twice struck out.
No cleats yet. Delgado pitched yesterday, so he would likely not be a candidate to pitch at any point in this ball game. And with Patrick Corbin heading to New York, you want him to be at his best come Tuesday night. So those 2 guys are probably off the charts, but everybody else available just in case.
Excluding Daniel Hudson there. Mark Reed, the bullpen catcher. Colmenter ahead on Francisco, 0-2. Who continues to swing at pitches above his neck. Although he lays off that one right on cue, 1-2.
Boy, a good full arm changeup from Josh Colmenter, and you may see Francisco just absolutely screw himself into the ground trying to swing hard.
He may leave an oblique in the dirt. Popped him up. Kubel left. And Josh Colmenter does a good job. Comes on and strands 2 runners. Will go to the home half of the 7th. Diamondbacks trail the Brewers. But first, we pause to honor America at Chase Field.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask that you please rise and sing along as we pay tribute to our great nation with the singing of God Bless America.
Diamondbacks trail the Brewers 5-1. Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with a purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations. And it's Miggy time at the ballpark. He has been on base twice today. Miguel Montero walked in the second, and his last time up, a solo shot to lead off the 5th. Miggy's 8th of the year and a second home run in 2 days. Montero, Gregorius, and the pitcher's spot. This was Miggy's last time up. Number 8. Last season, Miggy hit .286, 15 home runs. Right now, he's at .225 and 8. Jerry De La Rosa, the left-hander, has been up here for this series and has been a spectator to this point. Warming up, just recalled from AAA Reno on July 11th. Willie Peralta, so far so good, coming off a 3-hit shutout of the Reds in his last start. He leads here 5-1. There's the strikeout. That's number 8 for Peralta, new career high. Here's Didi. Hit it there.
Now that's foul territory. Move out in the bleachers in the left or right field, please. Peralta having all kinds of problems with the Chase Field mound. That's the second pitch this inning. He's fallen off badly to the first base side.
Well, house cleaning. High in the air, shallow center. Segura's out there in front of Gomez, and that's the second out.
Hey fans, we invite you to play Kachinko by signing up at one of the 16 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Arizona Diamondbacks regular season home game.
Cody Ross will hit for the pitcher.
Number 7, Cody Ross.
Cody hitting an even .300 over his last 14 games. He's at .262 on the year. He's got 20 hits in his last 21 games. Cody 3 for 8 as a pinch hitter this year with a double, a home run, and 3 RBIs. And Peralta's now over 100 pitches. High for the year is 113. That came in his last start.
Gibby does have Eric Chavez available from the left side of the plate along with Cliff Pennington, the switch hitter, but you'd much prefer to save that bat against one of the right-handed relievers late in the game with a chance to either tie it or give the D-backs a lead. Don't want to burn your best left-handed bat off the bench in a situation with 2 outs and nobody on base.
Missed in there. It's 2-2.
Keeping an eye on that NL West. San Diego 10-1 over the Giants in the top half of the 6th, while the Dodgers still trail the Rockies 3-1 in the bottom half of the 6th.
Boy, Chacin has really had a good year. It's full 3-2. Larry Lucchino is the Red Sox president. He had hoped to find a way to keep Cody Ross in Boston. In fact, Lucchino said he was always a Cody Ross fan, and at one point he was joking that he would show up at a meeting wearing a Cody Ross jersey. Pops that one up first base side. Francisco in foul ground. And makes a nice running catch. Normally a third baseman doing a good job over there at first, and Willie Peralta is through 7. He leads at 5-1. Join Mallory and Danielle as the next Fox Sports Arizona girl. All you have to do is log on to girls.foxsportsarizona.com and upload your photos and submit your video. Our tentacles are everywhere, camera-wise. We look around, continue our own search. We've conducted a thorough investigation. All part of the daily routine here, BB.
Work.
Leave no stone unturned. And here for the Diamondbacks, making his major league debut, is the left-hander, Yuri De La Rosa. 5'9", 167. Recalled from AAA Reno earlier this league, or I should say late last week. This is his first stint in the major league. This is his first big league appearance. You see his record for the Reno Aces at AAA, 37 games, a 1-4 mark, a 5.14 ERA, 45 strikeouts in 37 appearances.
In 6 minor league seasons, over 185 games, he carried a 2.87 ERA, an average better than a strikeout per inning.
Jody Jackson has more on Yuri De La Rosa. Jody.
Well, the other day, Kirk Gibson was giving a scouting report on De La Rosa. Not so much the pitches, but the makeup. He called him a gamer deluxe. He said he's not intimidated. He throws strikes. He holds runners well, but they really like the fact that he is pretty unflappable out there from what they have seen.
And Bob, they could use another left-hander back there. There's no way around that. You don't want Tony Sipp to be the only guy back there from the left-hand side down the last 2 months of the year.
And De La Rosa held lefties to a 177 average in the minor league, so that's a good sign.
Got kind of a funky sidearm three-quarter arm angle.
He's about as big as a minute out there on the mound, especially following Josh Colmenter. Like Josh pulled him out of his pocket and left him out there on the mound.
Well, we know that's one of the things Kevin Towers likes about his bullpen. He wants a variety of arm angles. You don't want cookie cutters coming out of there. You want to give the hitters a series of different looks, different arm angles. Up, down, left, right, side to side. And this is Yuri De La Rosa.
Pretty traditional up to right about there, and then really lets it fly. Good arm speed. Kind of spins off to the third base side. Might be susceptible to bunts to the right side of the field, but we'll see as we move forward.
This is his first major league hitter, and he strikes him out. Martin Maldonado. Welcome to the big leagues, Yuri De La Rosa.
Changeup fading off that outside corner of the plate. A little screwball action there, moving away from the right-handed hitter. Off speed, gets him way out on that front foot. Congratulations.
And Will Nieves has retrieved the souvenir. Yuri De La Rosa, 5'9", 165, just turned 23 earlier this year. Yuniesky Betancourt, he's 0 for 3. In 2011, De La Rosa had 10 saves at Class A South Bend in the Midwest League and pitched well. 39 games there, a 1.36 ERA, 53 innings, only 36 hits, and 51 strikeouts. He's put up good numbers here, BB. I'm looking at last year now. Last year, De La Rosa, AA Mobile, 53 games, a 2.84 ERA. 63 1/3, only 47 hits and 68 strikeouts. And those numbers will get you noticed.
Opponent's batting average only 206. Over the course of his minor league career before this season, 265 strikeouts against only 69 walks.
Betancourt reaches down and gets that one. Parr is there in right. 2 down. Time for our APS Energy All-Stars. Patrick Corbin and Paul Goldschmidt. Good luck, boys. We'll send you off to Citi Field in New York after the game for the All-Star festivities. Represent. Here's President and CEO Derek Hall earlier this week giving Goldie and Patrick their All-Star jerseys in Mets colors. I like the little stars on the numbers. That's a nice touch. Jeff Bianchi. And they are hot items. You can buy them at the team shop here at Chase Field. Pitcher spot is due up next. Chris Davis is out there. Boy, numbers for De La Rosa last year, very impressive at AA. 63 1/3, only 17 walks, 68 strikeouts. Now the numbers go down a bit here at AAA for Reno, but I'm guessing that has a lot to do with both the league and the ballpark, right?
A lot of it has to do with that league. Ball seems to fly everywhere. The fields get dried out and hard. The infields are very fast. Tough place to pitch.
He's only 23 years old, just turned 23, and he's already spent 6 seasons in the Diamondbacks system. And they could use another left-hander down the stretch. Gets him to chase. And in his first major league inning, Yuri De La Rosa gets a pair of strikeouts. Congratulations. It's 5-1 Brewers. We head to the home half of the 8th at Chase Field. Win the All-Star game. Well, 74% of you said National League. D-Back Nation chiming in. Thanks for tweeting your vote to @Fox Sports Arizona. Oh, just made an announcement here at the ballpark, BB, about the tremendous job that both the Diamondbacks fans and the organization has done in raising funds for the members of the Granite Mountain Hotshots, the Prescott Fire Department, their families. $678,000 raised by D-Backs fans and matched by the Diamondbacks, so a total of just over $678,000 at dbacks.com/19. That money goes to the 100 Club of Arizona and the American Red Cross. Immediate financial assistance for the families and for everyone out there who picked up a phone or logged on or helped out as Segura catches that one for the first out. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and we've never been prouder as an organization here and of our community, of our fan base, Bob, and a tremendous job. $678,616 raised during this homestand.
Just a tremendous response by Diamondbacks fans, not only here at Chase Field, but all around the state. We can't thank you enough, and I'm sure those families extend their thanks as well.
And also keep this in mind that the jerseys you're seeing right there on Gerardo Parra, the actual game-worn jerseys, are going to be auctioned off. And that auction is still open today until 6 o'clock. So you've got another 2.5 hours or so to log on to dbacks.com and make a bid. All the proceeds from the live jersey auction go to benefit the families. And that auction is still good until 6 o'clock this afternoon at dbacks.com. Michael Gonzalez is the new pitcher in relief of Willie Peralta, who did a tremendous job giving up only 1 run through 7 innings of work. So thanks again, D-Backs fans, as always. Tremendous. Rally caps are on in various forms. By the way, something to think about if you're a collector, BB. This was raised by a member of our staff. How about going online at dbacks.com and bidding on the De La Rosa jersey? You can get the actual jersey that he wore in his major league debut and struck out 2 guys. So that's an item you can log on and put on a bid. All the proceeds from that will go to the families. Roll to second, the Yankees there. Hey fans, new episode of the 10th inning premieres a week from today, July 21st. Behind the scenes at the All-Star Game with Patrick Corbin and Paul Goldschmidt. At home with Eric Chavez, and we catch up with Mark Grace. The 10th inning brought to you by CenturyLink next Sunday, right after the D-backs game against the Giants. Ron Renicky going to match up here with Paul Goldschmidt coming up. Pitching change to Chase Field. And we will take a break. 5-1 Brewers. He's got a 5-1 lead here in the 8th. He'll face Paul Goldschmidt. By the way, we have checked online, and the bidding for the Yuri De La Rosa jersey, BB, this has become a hot item. You can actually bid on the actual game-worn jersey that Yuri wore in his Major League debut. Got 2 strikeouts. And so we've got some action on that.
Yeah, we don't know what direction his career is going to take. He may end up in Cooperstown, and you'll want to have that jersey hanging on your wall.
Well, he's on pace. He's retired. He struck out 2 of the 3 Major League hitters he's faced. Auction open until 6 o'clock tonight, so get on there. All the proceeds go to benefit the families of the Granite Mountain Hotshots and the Prescott Fire Department. 1-0 to Goldie. Let's get it started.
I'm all for that. Got the right guy on the mound. Henderson pitched in game 1 of this series. Really struggled in his 1 inning of work. Walked 4 guys, 1 intentionally.
Sky high under the ceiling here, drifting in foul ground. And Betancourt has it, and Henderson gets the job done. A 1-2-3-8 by the Brewer bullpen. Yuri De La Rosa. That jersey's going back out there. Hurry up, dbacks.com/19.
rock. I mean, for us, my time up here, every time he goes out, you're going to get a really quality start out of him, and you're going to have a really good chance to win the game. And so it's well deserved, and we wouldn't be in first place, without him doing the things he's done.
Geico quote of the day from Will Harris, who's been so good out of the bullpen lately for the Diamondbacks, talking about some of the All-Stars here, and Patrick Corbin. Yuri De La Rosa has looked like an all-star in his major league debut. He has struck out 2 of the first 3 he's faced. And he's in there now against Ricky Weeks, who will hit for the pitcher here to lead off the 9th. It's ahead 0-1. Weeks 0 for 4 last night. He has 2 hits in the series. He's at only .227 on the year. Only Darwin, Barney, and Dan Uggla are hitting for a lower average among everyday National League second basemen. And only Uggla has struck out more often.
Uggla hits home runs, and Darwin Barney wins Gold Gloves.
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
Weeks and Marco Scutaro at the bottom of the list among second basemen in the league in terms of RBIs. It's been a disappointing year for Ricky Weeks. And this is a guy who's in the middle of a 4-year, $38.5 million contract. It's the All-Star break. Patrick Corbin and Paul Goldschmidt headed there, and then we resume the second half in San Francisco. And for some news on the pitching rotation, here's Jody Jackson. Jody.
Yeah, certainly, Steve, with Patrick Corbin going to the All-Star game. He won't pitch until Tuesday back here against the Chicago Cubs, but Kirk Gibson announced his rotation earlier today. It will be Ian Kennedy opening that series, Wade Miley, and then Randall Delgado as De La Rosa sits down weeks with the strikeout there. So with Corbin going Tuesday, Monday is the only bit of mystery, but it appears that Tyler Skaggs would again be the call-up to pitch in that situation. Another note, Brandon McCarthy, he is pitching today at Salt River Fields. He'll get up to 60-65 pitches. Kirk Gibson's hoping in 5 or 6 days that he can go out to Reno. He'd like to see him have 2 starts there, get up to about 90-95 pitches, and hopefully return by the end of the month.
Coming back from that shoulder injury, which for whatever reason has hit Brandon now 5 years in a row about this time. Norwich Gaioki 2 for 4. Yuri De La Rosa. That's a jersey you want to think about bidding on right now, the way this thing's going. Prado in on the grass at third. 5 up, 5 down in his major league debut for Yuri De La Rosa. By the way, if you want to get in on one of these bids, auction.mlb.com, and bid on one of these actual game-worn jerseys. The Diamondbacks have worn them throughout this homestand to, try and generate more interest and frankly, more dollars to all go to the families of the firefighters. So you can get these actual jerseys that were worn on this homestand throughout the last 10 games right there, including the one on Yuri De La Rosa's back right now in his major league debut. Logan Schaefer. Bob, I know ideally you'd like to have 2 lefties back there for the stretch drive in the bullpen, but is it, I know it depends on the way guys pitch, but how mandatory is it?
I don't think it's mandatory, especially if you've got some righties who can get lefties out effectively. I mean, we've talked about Tony Sipp and his backward splits. He actually gets righties out better than lefties. But, it always helps to have that extra lefty down there.
That one is driven to left. Jason Kubel fighting the sun. And a tremendous 2 innings in his major league debut by the left-hander Yuri De La Rosa. He set down all 6 he faced with 3 strikeouts. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. It's the bottom of the 9th here as we close out the first half.
That's bullpen coach Lee Tunnell making the changes. You'll see him filling in the spots in Logan Schaefer's spot. He'll put a 9 with a circle around it. Right there, indicating that he made the last out in the top half of the 9th inning. On the right side, you see Paul Goldschmidt with the number 8 with a circle around it. He'll fill that 8 in, letting his guys down there know who's going to be coming up to the plate in the next inning. They don't actually keep a scorecard like we do and like a lot of fans do in the stands, but they do keep the lineup card and keep track of where the opposing team is and where the left-handed hitters are, so that all those relief pitchers can be a little more aware of when they might come into a ball game.
K-Rod on in the 9th for Milwaukee. Not a save situation. He'll face Aaron Hill, Jason Kubel, and Martin Prado.
Four-time All-Star, 3 times with the Angels, once with the Mets. Unusual to see K-Rod without his customary goggles on out there.
Got his 300th career save earlier this year versus the Braves. Aaron Hill off the glove of Bianchi. And Aaron Hill's aboard for the 2nd time today. That's a pair of singles for Aaron. And the leadoff man is on for the D-backs here in the home half of the 9th.
Left fielder, Jason Kubel.
Oh, even cheating up the middle as much as Bianchi was. Not able to get to that ball. Knocked it down with a dive, but Aaron Hill on to start the inning.
Francisco Rodriguez unscored upon in 19 of his 22 appearances this year. 25th pitcher in Major League history to get 300 career saves. Jason Kubel, he is 0 for 3. He has struck out 3 times. K-Rod has put up some big save numbers. 45 in 05, 47 in 06, 62 saves in 08. He finished 3rd in the Cy Young voting that year.
And the Brewers are playing behind Aaron Hill over there at first base with a 4-run lead here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. I'd like to see Aaron go ahead and take it if he can. Take that force play out of the equation. Take a potential double play grounder out of the equation. And with that big delivery that K-Rod has out there on the mound, should be pretty easy to get a jump.
Segura on the second base side of the bag is way over there. The shift was on for Kubel. And they get the tag play on Aaron Hill. That's the shortstop making that play over there. Look where he is. He's on the first base side of that second base bag, and he's perfectly positioned to make the tag on Hill.
Well, talking about shifts on this day in baseball history, in 1946, player manager Lou Boudreau used the first exaggerated shift for Ted Williams, putting 4 infielders and 2 outfielders on the right side of the field. And the story is Ted Williams stepped in the batter's box, had a little laugh about it, and then got a base hit through the shift anyway.
Martin Prado, 1 for 3, singled in the 2nd. By the way, the Yuri De La Rosa jersey, the bidding is now up to $435. Trying to raise money for the 100 Club of Arizona and the American Red Cross for help with the families of the Granite Mountain Hotshots and Prescott Fire Department. Auction open until 6 o'clock today. And you can bid on the jersey that Yuri De La Rosa is wearing right now in his Major League debut. They'll be autographed, personalized, whatever you need. By the way, the Goldie jersey is up to over $5,500.
Nice.
All that money going for the families. Two and 1. Rockies still lead the Dodgers. That's 3-1 in the 8th in LA. Padres beating up the Giants 10-1 now in the 8th inning. So if all those scores hold up, including this one, the D-backs will go into the All-Star break at 50-45 and still holding a 2.5 game lead atop the NL West. And you would have signed up for that on opening day. Ruffer. 2 down.
How about this? We looked up the active saves leaders. K-Rod third on that list with 303. Joe Nathan second with 328. And then you jump 310 more saves to Mariano Rivera with 638.
Shows no signs of wearing down whatsoever. With a cutter and a two-seamer now, he's actually harder to hit. So it's up to Miguel Montero. He's been on base twice today. Walked in the second and homered in the fifth. The home run, Miggy's 8th of the year, his second in 2 games. All-Star break after this. We're back with you on Fox Sports Arizona on Friday. We'll see you from AT&T Park in San Francisco. D-backs and Giants. Two and one. Been a long haul here, BB. 20 games in 20 days into the All-Star break. First 10 were on the road. This is a team that could use a break. Three and one.
Pretty much every team in baseball can use a break, but there's probably a couple teams out there that are just hitting their stride. I think of the Dodgers and the way they came on at the end of the first half of the season. Tampa Bay has won 9 of their last 10. Teams like that don't want a break right now. They just want to keep rolling.
Here's the 3-1. Pulled down the line into right and foul. If this score holds, the Diamondbacks will have gone 9-11 on that stretch of 20 games in 20 days to close out the first half. Giants losing, Dodgers losing, D-backs losing. So if that all holds, it will be 2.5 games at the break. Kubel takes off. Miggy lifts it into the air. Shallow left. That's got a chance to drop. But Betancourt is there, and that's the ball game and the series and the first half of the season as Milwaukee salvages 1 of 4 here. But still a very successful homestand and series for Kirk Gibson's ball club. They take 3 of 4 from the Brewers. And they go into the second half of the season at 50-45. Currently holding a 2.5 game lead all by themselves atop the NL West.
It would be very easy to sit here and say, what if some players had been healthy the whole first half? What if the Diamondbacks had hit a little better? What if the bullpen had settled in a little quicker? But it is what it is. And if you would have asked Kirk Gibson and his staff, will you take a 2.5 game lead at the break? Absolutely, you'd take that.
So, Cindy Brunson, that's what it is as we put a period here on the first half of this 2013 season. Out to you.
Sounds good, guys. Getting ready to serve up the post.